Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Ball Over Passion, and it's a happier one for once.
Yeah.
Actually got a signing for God knows how long. So let's get straight into it. It's Albert Sambi Lokonga.
Yeah.
Thoughts, CK?
Um, uh, it's a different signing to what Arsenal fans are probably used to because we're generally seen as the club that goes for or the retirement home. We're seen as the retirement home. So to get our first two signings, who are both I think 21, um, it's only positive because last season what cost us the most is a Tierney backup and a Partey backup. Because when them two players got
Mm.
injured, a lot of our team play changed. So our first signings being the things that cost us last season just shows good planning, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was with last season, you could see that the drop off in central midfield was so vast that you were going from Partey to El Neni, and though obviously there was issues with Xhaka with in terms of disciplinary wise, and he would get himself in trouble and make errors as well. So I really am happy to see a younger profile of player, someone that is already a captain of his own team.
Yeah,
We're looking for younger captains, and we're looking for uh, what is being known as technical leaders in technical areas. If I can just use that phrase. So, where do you
and
think you'll slot into the team?
someone who loved to come because he said it himself today in that interview. He was like,
Mm,
I was told by the president of Anderlecht and my lawyer that there's interest in from Arsenal to me, and he straight away he's like, I told him, excuse me, but I'm gonna have to leave. And I just think that urgency to want to come to Arsenal is something that we need in all our signings, to be honest, because we've been looking at our players like the media is trying to portray it like Locatelli doesn't want or isn't prioritizing a move to Arsenal, which may mean we won't sign him because Arteta has been on record saying I shouldn't have to plead a player to come. They should
yeah,
want to come, and I'm only going to sign players who want to come. And that energy is reciprocated when the first thing Lokonga says is, as soon as I heard Arsenal, I dropped everything. I told the president of the club that I'm going to want to leave. And
yeah, for
he
sure.
is young, so he will be coached. He does have deficiencies, which we can talk about. But yeah, it is a positive signing, I think.
Well, you can move on to deficiencies. What do you see as positives as?
I think he's a very good passer. And
Yeah.
if you do watch where he generally passes to, he loves to pass to the left wing or long balls to the left wing. And that crossfield ball, Partey does a lot to Tierney as well, which is the dynamic that we use
Mm.
sometimes to bypass press. So that is beneficial. And he's a good dribbler. On the
This
ball, he's
is a good point.
quality, I think. He's a very good dribbler,
Mm.
like progressing the ball through dribbling or passing. And the stuff that we have lacked with Partey getting injured. So it's just stopping or raising the floor so
Yeah.
that when an injury does happen, the impact on our team isn't as much. Because I can see him playing, starting maybe 5, 10 league games, even more, depending on form next season.
Yeah.
And that would
What
just depend on him.
what I'm happy about is a couple of things. One, it's before the Florida trip. I mean, we don't know what's happening
Yeah,
with the Florida trip, but with the Inter Milan deciding they might want to pull out, but it's good that he's going to be there for that. Second of
yeah.
all, the point that I've just highlighted on the screen, um, we have over the past, I would say, 5 to 10 years, had lacked the sort of
Leaders.
leaders. I mean, the last true leader I would say at the club. I mean, as much as we detest to mention it, it's probably Van Persie. Like he was someone who could actually just pick up a ball and really that one season he
Yeah,
had as
apart from
captain.
Tierney,
Yeah,
maybe,
Tierney last season, but we need more players in that mold.
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't call any of that last. I mean, not I wouldn't call Sanchez or Özil or some. I'm talking about real someone that you could literally rely on to stand up in a game, and I don't think we've lacked that in the past. So seeing someone like a Lokonga come in, who's clearly up for a challenge and up for wanting to push our game onwards, it's encouraging. It's really encouraging.
It is because when they asked him, I think it was Frimpong who asked him, "What's your like best position?" And he's like, "I let other people do the judging, and I don't like talking." And I think for someone to just who, who may not even want to be in the limelight and just play football, because we have had players who just like I'm not even sure what it is, but like care a lot more to like talk. Like
Yeah,
Mustafi, for example, who did some weird interviews complaining about the fans and stuff. And I just think that type of mentality is a negative. And I think with him just not even like I think he knows what he's good at because he did say I'm a six or eight because he has played as a 6 or 8 in the Belgian league and he has flourished and he did get a national call up. But like for me, another positive is that he's Congolese, so like I won't complain. I won't complain about the signing. But yeah, like we do
I
need
want.
six
Yeah.
eights.
I want to go a bit further in on that bit because I'll give my opinion, but I want to know what you think. So, what is he a 6? Is he 8? He's a hybrid. What do you feel like his best position is?
I think he's more of an 8 right now, just because of the way he defends. I think his
Hmm.
positioning and risk and the way he like comes to tackle just needs to be coached. And it's the same deficiency that Tavares has. Their defensive positioning needs coaching. And I think you'll see that with some of the signings
Mm.
you probably make, like Ben White can be coached defensively as well, especially aerially. So like with Lokonga, he definitely needs positioning coaching, which can be coached, and it's better to have a positioning deficiency than on the ball quality deficiencies because it's harder to coach technique.
I mean, for me, I feel like it's a case that you can actually see elements that you could say, okay, he's more of a 6, or okay, he's more of an 8. But what I do like is the versatility. I like the ability to want to play multiple positions, as he said in that interview. I like the fact that he's like, okay, I'm here to be whatever the team needs me to be, and I think that's a massive lesson in terms of wanting wanting to take that mantle and wanting to actually move the ball forward in terms of not only positioning and defensive work, but also in progression and becoming that box to box midfielder. Um,
Yeah,
with this signing, I just think that it shows that there's finally going to be a bit more fluidity in the market as well, because I just think that obviously with the COVID situation, Euros, etc., this window's been so lethargic. Me and you have both had flack from people going, "Why? How can you trust this? How can you trust that?" I'm just like, bro,
yeah,
wait. COVID is still happening. Euros is finally over. We're finally starting to get some movement, and I think hopefully this can calm people down a little bit. Take it from about a 10 and
yeah.
a half to
Because
about a
it
5.
has looked like soon enough
Mm,
Ben White's going to be announced as well,
yeah,
which will also just be another positive for me and for the people that are complaining about the speed at which we're completing deals. Because I think this is it is our fifth confirmed transaction.
transaction, yeah.
This fifth official first team transaction this window,
Hmm.
with Mavropanos, Guendouzi, and Saliba going out,
Yeah.
and Tavares and Lokonga coming in. So if we're moving slow, then all the other big teams are moving slower than us because we've done more than all of them. And Ben White
Mm,
looks nearly to be done. And the other signings that we need to move players out. For example,
yeah.
right back, the goalkeeper, we're going to have to move out Renison. So like when we need to move out Bellerin and Maitland Niles or Cedric
Yeah,
before
for
we
sure.
even talk to a right back, because as I've said, you can't convince someone to come when there's that much competition in
No.
that position. So you're going to
I
have to sell them.
I just want to put this in context as well. Imagine, say, you go to um, one of the right backs, Chelik or someone or whoever, just a random name, and you
Yeah,
go, okay, um, we want you. I think this is going to be a great move for you. It's going to be great, but for the record, there's also four other right backs of the club. So good luck, mate. Oh, and also Ben White's coming in. He can also play at right back as well. So five other right backs. I mean, is any right back gonna be like, oh, safe, yeah, cool.
and
I'll come in.
in big games against Chelsea, we're gonna play Saka right wing back instead of you.
Yeah,
So you're
like,
gonna have to compete with five other
like,
players. That's just crazy. There should be more shows in the
yeah.
process.
This is the thing. I mean, Senko,
We're gonna
we're
do
going to be
them
doing. We're
definitely.
going to do these. We've talked about this. We're going to do this. By the way, guys, stick to the end. We're going to be talking about what's happening with the channel and all those kinds of things the next couple of weeks. So, but we're going to get onto that. So, just to get back to Lokonga quickly. Where do you see this moving in terms of formation? Are we sticking? Do you think this has any impact on where we go in the future?
I think we'll always play both.
Yeah.
I think 4-2-3-1 may be primary just because of it brings more central compactness and it needs less specificity in certain
Yeah.
positions. And to have that specific profile, you need a lot of money. And
Yeah.
if Willock goes out, I think that's just more likely to be a 4-2-3-1 because
Yeah.
there's not many better players you can get for the 4-3-3 than Willock right now.
I mean,
And
yeah.
yeah, no, you were going to say something.
I was saying to George as well that I think the Willock situation will determine where our formation goes next season. Because as I've said to him in the past, Willock could quite easily be off the bench 4-3-3 trigger, which we could transition into a starter
Quickly,
as
yeah.
time goes on through the season. But if he's out on loan or he's gone, then that opportunity just vanishes. So I tend to agree with you. I will stick my 4-3-3 agenda
But
away
Lokonga
from
has
for one
played
season.
again on quickly on the Lokonga thing. Like Lokonga has played right centre mid in a 4-3-3 before, so he's not.
Mm.
It wouldn't be new
It's
to
not
him. He's
completely
played.
out the window, no.
Yeah, he's played right centre mid in a 4-3-3, right centre mid in a 4-4-2 as well. So he
Mm.
doesn't just play one position.
No,
So
I mean
again,
the
it's
other
just the
yeah.
versatility that he brings.
The only thing I would say about the right centre mid in a 4-3-3 is it puts Partey at the 6, and it's a bit like, do I
Yeah,
want? Nah, it's not going to be. You're not going to be bringing out the best qualities of Thomas Partey at the
because
6.
if you watch
So,
Partey, he's very
mm,
very risky. Like you
yeah,
watch, even last season, people were complaining about he just overdoes it sometimes with the risk. And if you want that
mm,
in your last midfielder, your last line before the two centre backs, because we will be in a 2-3-5 if Pai gets caught. So
mm,
him being that risky as the last midfielder, I just don't want it. I'll
no.
be honest, I do not want it.
One thing I do want to bring up is I remember earlier in the window we were looking at, there were rumors about
Wait,
Luke.
quickly, let me answer
Yeah,
this. Sorry, quickly. With Lokonga, he's worse defensively than Pai.
yeah,
His position in the midfield defensively, especially in transition, really needs coaching, and because he's struggled at times with it in the Belgian league. So imagine it here
yeah,
in the Premier League. So
right.
again, I'm happy that what is the 19th of July, so we have like 3 weeks maybe, 3 weeks and a half, 4 weeks till the season starts,
Mm,
and that's nearly a month of him being coached with Arteta and the staff. So
yeah,
and he won't start the first game, I don't
no,
think.
me
So it'll
neither.
just be a lot of coaching for him to really like improve. Again, it's just another
Yes.
option.
So what I wanted to get across is that at the beginning of the window, or towards the beginning of the window, we were linked with Louis Campos.
Yes.
There was this link between always the scouting. He's going to be coming in as a scouting consultant or something like this. We're using his scouting agency, and one of the biggest signings that Louis Campos made for Lille was Boubakary Soumaré.
Yes.
And before he left Lille, Lokonga was the
Meant to be his
Soumaré
replacement.
replacement.
Yeah.
And I just think people are overlooking that a lot. I mean, people are on their knees for Soumaré. I know George loves Boubakary Soumaré.
Same.
And I just think that this guy is a a similar profile to Somare. Would you not agree?
He's similar, but Sumari is much better, I think.
Yeah, but what I was about to say is
The
he's a similar
profile, yeah.
profile, but the other thing is I feel like Lokonga has leadership qualities that Samari doesn't have in his locker as much. Obviously Samari is a better player. I do agree with that, but I think that we need someone like a Lokonga as a leader in terms of the squad right
I
now.
do think Sumari also is a leader, but his team is much older, so he'll never get the
Mm,
armband. Because
mm,
Anderlecht, if you do look at, so we've looked at Koopmeiners and Lokonga, who are both 23 and 21 and both captains at their club, but both their teams are much younger than Lille, and I don't see how a manager at Lille could justify giving Sumari an armband when you have many older players like Font, Yeomans, all them older than
mm.
him. And the hierarchy, because I think Sumari is definitely a leader if you watch the way in which he helps orchestrate their build up and stuff. Because their build up is completely different when their manager
Yeah,
decides to go through Sumari rather than going through what's his name, Andre. So again, with I just think Sumari is much better with positioning and stuff.
yeah.
Not not to take away from Lokonga, but he was meant to be the Sumari replacement.
Replacement, yeah.
Lille don't wouldn't have messed about with replacing Sumari because he was so integral to them winning the league.
Yep,
So
that pivot was crazy. Him and Renato Sanchez, they were playing
him,
when they play.
Andre, and sometimes Renato Sanchez in the right
Mm,
mid was good. Like, but with Lokonga, I think being looked at or touted by Atalanta and Lille is big praise because they probably do sign the best talent from outside the top five leagues.
mm,
And
for
if they're
sure.
looking at you, you are a good player. That's just how I see it, to be honest.
Other thing I was going to mention is with the addition of Lokonga, it means that we have more flexibility in the market in terms of getting people out. It puts pressure on the likes of Xhaka and Roma to be like, look,
And the
if you
Torreira,
want this, yeah, Torreira, the likes of Torreira, Maitland-Niles, if you want to count him as a centre mid, but it puts pressure on me. Like, look, we're bringing people in. Get out, man. Just get out. We don't need you anymore. We're trying to move players on. If you want to try and long it out, but we are trying to move on with our squad, and you won't get registered. I don't think Arteta would want to register these guys if they want to stay.
probably wouldn't. They wouldn't have space if we're making new signings, because guys
No.
like Torreira and because Guendouzi's the first one to go, which is why Lokonga came in. Because
Yep.
if you see Guendouzi's gone, Lokonga in. So with the Xhaka, when Xhaka goes, you're going to see a Locatelli or Bissouma or someone along that line to come in.
Mm,
So
for sure.
it's out and in, and deals. We have many deals, I think, that were done
Yeah,
in principle, but you just have to wait
for
for
sure.
the
I
person to
mean,
leave.
what I want to reiterate with the transfer policy at the moment is there's outs and in. There's obviously for players that are in the squad, there is one out, one in. But there's also fringe players that we're just sending out, like
Yes.
the Mavropanos, or I mean, crucify me if you want, football Twitter, Saliba as well, who hasn't played for the club yet. So we're also sending players that we're sending players out on surplus, but we're also bringing in players one for one in terms of squad.
Yeah.
So I
It's
think
just to minimize the risk of bloating.
yeah,
Because
for sure.
if you see what we've done with the centre back, what happened with the centre backs at our club is prime example of why you don't sign when you have it already.
For sure.
Because we were trying to replace rubbish players, but not selling them. So you're
Mm,
buying all these Mustafis and all this stuff, and then you're buying the Socrates on top, and then you end up with 8 centre backs, and some of them can't even be registered. That's just causing problems. So you sign a right back now, one of them will be registered, and they'll still be in the changing room and training. They're gonna cause problems. So you're gonna have to sell before you buy.
yeah,
And I
for
think
sure.
it's smart that if we can't sell, we just stick with Chambers. Honestly, honestly.
Yes, we should stick with Chambers. I think, as I've said before, Chambers is someone that I would trust as a backup for both centre back and right centre back and right back. I don't see him as a starter. I would accept him as a starter, but I don't see him as like in my 11. If I had my 11, he doesn't make my 11. He makes my bench. So I just feel like with the transfer policy at the minute, I think it's going to be, as I said before, one out, one in. But we need to start getting players out, and I think I mentioned this already before. The market is very, very tough to sell at the minute. It's a buyer's market. If you want to buy, clubs are broke. You can
Yeah,
offer
we can't
people.
force the price. Like with Xhaka, Roma tried to come with a 12 million bid and then buy someone the week after for like 13, I think it was. Like we know you're broke, Roma, but you know where you're gonna
Mm,
like undermine us, which I think is good to not be
yeah,
bullied in this market, because right now generally 20 million is the price. So we're gonna aim to get that for all our midfielders or all the players that we sell, because midfielders are going for 20 million right now, which is why
yeah.
we want 20 million for Xhaka and 20 to 30 million for Willock.
Right. On that note, we're going to just do some quick announcements and things to do with the channel. So as you might have seen, the actual the Twitter is at the minute suspended. We've had some issues with Twitter on the and we're trying to sort them out. If not, we're going to have a new Twitter made if things don't work out. But for the minute, it's just hold on. The podcast has been recorded, and hopefully we want to release it as soon as possible for you. So if we can fix issues, we'll get it up for you as soon as possible. Please just follow me, CK, and George, as we'll have updates for you on what's going on with the channel and what's going on with the
Yeah,
Twitter. Want to say as well, we're so close to 400 guys, so I think we're something like two away, one away from 400 subs. So if you haven't already, please hit that sub button. It does help a lot. Please like the videos, because that does help our engagement numbers, and it does help people get it does people help bring people to the channel as well. So
yes.
on that note, thank you, CK, thank you everyone, and we will see you soon. Bye bye now.
Right.